Welcome back, my brother. So today I want to paint a picture and also kind of fire you up and just completely obliterate your self-beliefs. And I hope I get the chance to do that today. So tune in, buckle up your seatbelt, grab some popcorn or whatever. Actually, don't do that because it's fucking unhealthy for you. Grab some water and let's dive into this. So when you're born, when you're freshly newborn, right? You do not know anything. You don't have an understanding of how anything works. Your ego is completely innocent and pretty much empty. It hasn't made decisions or judgments or labels yet. And so as you go through life, as you experience new things, you learn how to react to them in the future, right? So what happens is maybe as a kid, you get ambitious and you decide to put your hand into the fire. And you don't know how that feels. And so you put your hand into the fire and the reaction, the effect is, well, it fucking burns your hand, right? And therefore, your mind, more specifically your ego, now understands, okay, and labels it as dangerous. So now you don't put your hand into the fire. You have an understanding that it's something dangerous now. This serves to protect you. Similarly, if, let's say, as a kid, you were someone who talked a lot and someone that was really extroverted, right? You would always laugh and talk and be very curious and ask a lot of questions. Now, as you all know, if you did this in school, you'd be considered annoying. You'd be considered someone with ADHD. You'd be told to shut up and listen and to sit still. That's what you would be told. But you don't know what the experience of talking like this does, right? And from the outside world, you get a reaction, and the reaction is sometimes positive or negative. And usually, if you're a very talkative kid, the reaction from the world is quite negative. They tell you to shut up. And so then your ego takes that as a sign of danger, a sign of fear, and then abides by that reaction. So the reaction is, okay, shut the fuck up. And then the ego's like, okay, I'm going to shut up to be safe, right? Because back in the past, back in our tribal times, right, we needed to know what was dangerous and what was safe. And if we didn't, it could literally mean our death, right? From things like, okay, saber-toothed cat, danger, labeled as danger. Okay, we're not going to touch it. That's an obvious fucking example. But to other things like, for example, being careful with how you treat people in your tribe, right? There are certain ways to act and certain ways to not act. And the ways we learn how not to act is by the tribe punishing us, by reacting to us badly. And if anything happens to our relationship to that tribe, it means our death. It means our survivability. So tribe was really important back then. And so the slightest fuck up could mean our death. You could get banished. You could get hit in the head with a rock, right? You could die, get eaten alive. That's why the ego still needs to label things and identify with certain things to keep you safe. That's its primary objective. And that's why it actually does, racist things too. It labels people as different, It takes a lot of work to see everyone as humans, right? It does, especially if you've been racist. But racism is a way of protection. It's a way of keeping out aliens, keeping out people who might disturb your natural tribe. Simple as that. So, you go through life learning, doing certain things, and then the world gives you a reaction, and therefore the ego identifies or creates a belief about the reaction that you've gotten so that it can keep you safe. And what happens is, as you keep going through life with this new belief, right? As you keep going through life, for example, we're going to paint the example. Again, you're a talkative kid. You've been told to shut up and to settle down in class, that you talk too much, that you're too loud, that you're too annoying, this and that. Your natural characteristic of being gregarious is being labeled as something bad. And if you've been told that enough times, and unfortunately, as a kid, you tend to believe what other people say, right? You start to believe it. You start to literally believe that you are too loud, you are annoying, you talk too much. You start to believe it. And as you keep believing it, your behavior changes. Because the body, the human mind, our literal consciousness needs to be as consistent as it can be, right? Which is why, for example, things with cognitive dissonance, right? You say you hate snakes, but when you see a snake on the road that you were about to run over, you actively try to avoid it, right? You don't just kill it. So do you really hate snakes? Your body is telling you one thing, but you're saying another thing. Your body needs to be consistent. Otherwise it comes up as cognitive dissonance or some other things, right? You really need to be consistent. Which is why, as you've been repeated your whole life that you're too loud or you're too annoying or you talk too much, your mind literally starts to believe that so that it can keep consistent. And therefore, your behavior also changes so that it matches what you believe, right? It's as simple as like, if you do self-affirmations for one day, right? You just do 5 minutes of self-affirmations that day. You're going to have a boost. You're going to have a positive effect for maybe an hour. And then after that, your body language, your behaviors are going to revert back to your original self-beliefs. So without changing the self-beliefs, your behavior, your body posture, things like that won't change. So then with these beliefs, they carry on to adult life. And majority of these belief systems are bullshit. Like, you talk too much. Who says? Who says I talk too much? What do you know? Maybe you don't talk enough, right? It's just bullshit. You're annoying. Am I really annoying, or are you easily annoyed? See, which one's which? You're too loud. Am I too loud, or are you too quiet? It's just bullshit. Maybe you might be a bit too loud, but that's not an excuse not to change. That's not an excuse to change your natural personality, right? Again, for example, if people have been telling you that you're ugly your entire life, you're going to start to believe that you're ugly, and therefore your behavior is going to be that of an ugly person, whatever that might be, right? Maybe not enough confidence walking down, your body posture is going to change, your eye contact, everything will change to mimic that self-belief that you have about yourself, which is that you are ugly. Similarly, if you believe that you are worthless, that you're not worth for anything, that you're a mistake, whatever, right? If you've grown up in a household where your parents never praised you, your mother or your father never praised you, or they had an expectation, a way that they want you to turn out, and you feel guilty or shame or a lot of friction that you won't turn out the way they want you to turn out, this can make you feel like you are worthless because you don't live up to the expectations set on you by your parents. Well, if you don't live up to them, then you must be a failure. Who says? Who says? Your parents? Really? What did they know? How can they know what's best for you more than you? You are yourself. You listen to your emotions, you listen to your intuition, you listen to the way your mind thinks when you do certain things. It's simple to realize whether you like them or not. Do it for a fucking week and then decide whether you like it or not, right? If you like it, you'll most likely never have thoughts, never have conflicting thoughts. If you don't like it, well, then you're gonna fucking know you don't like it. So how can you feel like a failure if your parents expected you to become a doctor, but deep down inside you hated being a doctor? Or deep down inside you knew you were meant for something else, something greater? How can you feel like a failure? Who says? Are your parents the most successful beings in the planet? No, definitely not. And this isn't to bash on our parents, guys. This is just to paint the picture that belief systems are literally bullshit. How can you be a failure just because you didn't become a doctor? Exactly, it's a bullshit belief system. Same way maybe you don't get appreciated at work, or when you make mistakes, you get really negative reactions. Like as a kid, if you ever made a major mistake or you kept making mistakes, maybe they start labeling you as clumsy. Maybe they start labeling you as someone that fucks up a lot, a problematic kid, someone that costed. And you start to believe it, dude. You start to therefore, your behavior says, okay, I'm not going to try that new thing because I'll probably fail. I'm not going to put myself out there because I'll probably fail. I'm not going to start that business because I'll probably fail. And When I failed at home and my parents yelled at me, imagine how the world is going to react if I fail in the real world. Your self-beliefs literally change your behaviors and your actions. Again, bullshit. We all fuck up. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes every single fucking day. None of us are perfect. How does that make you a problematic kid? How does that make you clumsy? How does that make you any more worthless? It doesn't. It really doesn't. It's just a bullshit. It's belief systems, bullshit. So then, we've painted all these negative bullshit belief systems, right? Then, how do you put in, what are positive belief systems? And how can you even like believe in them, right? Like, for example, if you are a genuinely a 2 out of 10 in terms of looks, you are fucking ugly, right? Firstly, I'm sorry. Secondly, if you're a 2 out of 10, it's going to be so insane for you to believe you're a 10 out of 10. It really is, isn't it? It's going to be a lot of hard work. You're not going to believe it. But like, would you rather believe that or try to believe it? Or would you rather believe that you're a 2 out of 10? Some people call this facing reality. Sure, maybe facing reality. But who says you're a 2 out of 10? Who says? You do. Society? No, I don't think so. Because to other 2 out of 10s, you're a 10 out of 10. To someone else, you're beautiful. So does it really, like, even if you accept the reality, okay, you're a 2 out of 10. Even if you accept the reality, then what? What's your next step? What, you're just going to go cry, sob, accept the fact that you're never going to amount for anything more than a 2 out of 10? Really? You have the power to control your fucking world, and you're going to choose to do that? Really? Why wouldn't you instead say, you know what, fuck it, both of them are bullshit. I know people out there view me as fucking beautiful. Maybe the majority don't, but who the fuck cares, right? What, you're out here to please people? Is that why you're here? To live here so you can please people? No. So drop that fucking belief system and maybe believe in the fact that you are a 10 out of 10. Maybe not with looks, but with character, with personality, with values, with integrity, with morality, with ethics, with the way you think, the way you solve problems, the way you love, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the things that you stand up for, the things that interest you, your hobbies, your achievements, what you can offer in conversation, what you can offer to people, what your skills are, what you're capable of, and the fact that you're human and you can always learn. Doesn't that make you a 10 out of 10? The fact that there is no one else out there that speaks the exact same way as you. You've obviously worked on yourself, I hope, watching this channel, right? I hope you've actually put an effort to work on yourself. Not many people do that, so that already makes you more attractive. And what's the worst thing about believing that you're a 10 out of 10? Maybe the fact that it seems insane, but what's the best case scenario? You actually start to fucking believe it, and then your whole behavior, the way you act changes. If you go walking around believing genuinely deep down within inside of you that you're a 10 out of 10, and I know we're talking about this in terms of looks because, look, let's be honest, that's what you're interested in, okay? So am I. I'm going to be honest with you. Looks are important. The way you carry yourself is important. So if you believe that you're a 10 out of 10 and you just walk the streets, right, and you genuinely believe this within you deep down inside, okay, what's going to happen to you? Again, if we say belief systems dictate your behavior, well, a 10 out of 10 walks with confidence, looks directly ahead, doesn't look down. A 10 out of 10 doesn't fidget too much. 10 out of 10, chest out, shoulders back. 10 out of 10 maybe breathes in deeply and consciously. Believes in the way they walk. They're not apologetic about the way they walk. Their body posture, what they say. Look at all these benefits. And then look at all the negative sides of just believing you're a 2 out of 10. Dude, it's not just about looks, firstly, and that's a whole nother topic. It's a whole nother topic. It is not about looks. So who the fuck cares? Okay, another important self-belief is, I am lucky. I always get blessed. I'm blessed. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. That's a belief system. I'm grateful. I'm confident. I am worth it. I have a lot to provide. I have a lot of value. I am worthy of love. I am capable. Right? All these self-beliefs, they're positives. They do massive. Sorry, guys, I am being fucked by these mosquitoes and shit. But really think about it, man. It's all about programming your mind. Literally, it's literally all about programming the mind. If you can deep down inside dive into your consciousness, the subconscious, take out the bad beliefs, take maybe a month, 2-3 months, just embedding positive beliefs into it, promise you it will just make absolute wonders in your world. Like, even try it this way, right? Go to the gym and push as hard as you can, right? And when you feel like stopping, just keep repeating to yourself, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, I've got this, I've got this, let's go, baby. Just keep repeating that to yourself in your mind. And then you start to believe it, believe that you have this, and watch the amount of extra reps that you put in. Fuck, easy, bro. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a long one. See you next time.